purchased in your library, and other parameters which are more or less quantifiable. But the end result of all kind of education, as I have been taught, is whether we help the students evolve themselves, whether they become their best, or whether they are able to give their best to the society. So the subject of quality is to the core of every academician who wants to excel in academics. So we are happy that we have an expert with us who is well versed in the subject and who has been in various committees to ensure the quality. So biodata, before I read his biodata, I'll also introduce and welcome Dr. Jayanti Datta. She needs no introduction, at least in Chandigarh, because all of us, in one way or other way, have to do the orientation course, the faculty development course, some other course. So she has been a mentor to many teachers in the city and the neighboring areas. So my interaction with her came through one orientation course, and since that orientation, I have been seeking all kind of guidance from her. So, Jayanti ma'am, welcome to you. And before I read the biodata of Professor P.K. Alivalia, so my brief summation is, sir, I'll have to shorten it and to
You
highlight here. It's a lengthy biodata, and when I made a card, welcome card for you, I highlighted your number of citations. So
great.
that proves that your academic excellence. So I'll just read out some of the things. Professor P.K. Aluwalia is a retired professor from Himachal Pradesh University, and he has been coordinator of UGC SAP Physics Department in Himachal Pradesh University. He has been a member of Himachal Pradesh State Higher Education Council. He has been member of the advisory committee of Himachal Pradesh Private University Education Regulatory Commission. He has been a member of advisory committee of HP Service Commission, chairman and member of Library Advisory Committee of HPU, coordinator of UGC Nodal Center for Computer Application in Physics, Maths, and Commerce. And he is a consultant of IQAC cell in Bada University. He has been Dean Faculty of Physical Sciences 11 to 13. He has been Dean Planning and Teachers Matters and Director of IQAC cell in HPU 11 to 14. He has been Director of University Institute of Information Technology and Coordinator of Nodal Center of Computer Applications, Chairperson Department of Physics, Himachal Pradesh University, Chairperson Board of Studies in Physics, UG and PG, and member of the Academic Council of Himachal Pradesh University. So he started his teaching in 80 and taught at St. Bede's College. And then in Himachal Pradesh University, he retired in 2015 and currently working in various posts. His research areas are, core areas are condensed matter physics, physics education research, and he has guided more than 16 PhD students and 34 MPhil dissertation, and he's written 2 books on computational physics. Uh, and he has created various facilities in HPU. So I'll skip that. He has more than 120 articles in high impact factor peer reviewed journals and more than 1300 research citations. He has been awarded Commonwealth Academic Fellowship Award at the University of Edinburgh, UK. He has been adjudged as Best Teacher and Academic Administrator Award by HPU in the year 2012 and awarded Environment Leadership Award in 2017. And he has visited UK, France, Switzerland, Turkey, and various places. And he has made several initiatives uh, in his parent university, Himachal Pradesh University, as a professor of physics, as director IQAC, and as dean of the planning. His other interests include science popularization, radio featuring, community service, and is a member of various professional bodies. Member of Indian Association of Physics Teachers, member of Indian Physics Association, member of Indian Science Congress Association, and he has been president of Himachal Physical Society, general secretary of Vigyan Bharati, and he has organized 15 seminars and conferences in the areas related to physics, IT, quality assurance, library science, and community service. Sir, I have skipped major part of your biodata. Uh, Excuse me for that. We are is a teacher organization. We apart from working for the teachers, basic pay, salaries, and increments, we always feel that there should be academic vision behind every organization, so that we can discuss about our profession and be ethical about profession and be motivated in our profession. So in that, we have been organizing series of such webinars. Thanks to this system, we have been able to connect people across the globe. Last seminar we had Professor Dr. Neeraj from the library. He taught about how to write in the high impact paper journals, and before that he himself told about the plagiarism and related policies. So we welcome you, sir, Ahluwalia sir.
Thank you.
On behalf of all the members of CGCTA, all the teacher colleagues and students. So we have organized the program in such a way that Madam Jayanti will introduce the topic, and then you can carry on. And then we will have question answer sessions. All the participants are requested to write their questions in the chat box. So in the end, we will read the questions. So that Madam Jayanti, you did not send me your biodata, but hello.
It is all right. You said I need no introduction, so there is no need for any introduction.
That's it. But I am aware of your achievements in your.
It's all right. Let us begin with the agenda, right?
The agenda, you have to start now, please.
Right. Okay. So good afternoon to you, Professor Ahluwalia, and good afternoon to all of you, my invisible friends. I am sure that you are there in my laptop, on the screen of my laptop. And it is just like in this time when we are all isolated and quarantined, it is very nice to listen to you at least. If I can't see you, at least it is very nice to hear your voices and to know that you are there and we are all together at this time. And I remember in our childhood, I think you might also have done it. When we were very young, we would go at the back of the television to see if there are small people inside who are actually performing the dances and who are actually performing the dramas that are happening in the screen. So similarly, I wish to go back to my laptop to see if all these people, all my colleagues are there or not. But it is really very reassuring that the colleagues are there and you have all gathered together to listen to this discussion. I would also appreciate the role of the union because most of the time the unions are always get a bad name that they are there for politics only and they are there for the selfish agenda of teachers' rights. But when it comes to the duties, we hardly show our interest. But I think this is a great initiative on the part of the union to organize some kind of an academic discussion, because I think in wake of this unprecedented situation, sitting together and discussing together and reflecting on the issues, I think it has become very, very important. And this can be, when we bring things on the table, I think this can be a very useful way of spending time on certain things, because catching up with ideas and to discussing things with the colleagues and to later on mulling over this, and which will ultimately bring some kind of changes. So the topic that we are discussing today is about quality assurance to quality enhancement, as Professor Ahluwalia would be taking it. But if you ask me, quality is a very fuzzy kind of idea. When we talk of quality, like all the time we talk of quality of restaurant or quality of education or quality of schools. I find that this is a very fuzzy word, and it has been used everywhere and anywhere, and we do not understand it fully. And secondly, the second thing that I would like to bring is that in higher education, whose headache is quality? Because I find that most of the time when we think of quality, we think of an institution. And if there is an IQAC cell, we think that all the headache is that of the IQAC cell and nobody else is bothered about the quality. And do we have to do all these quality things only when there is a ranking coming up or when there is a meeting or inspection coming out or not? These are the issues I think that I really want to flag, and we will be discussing these things. Because quality, and I would also like to request Professor Ahluwalia to tell about us on the things that individuals can do, because most of the time we as teachers find it very much frustrating that many a times our good initiatives are not taken up by the institute, and then we become very bitter in this whole process, and therefore we feel very demotivated also. And therefore, we don't even contribute to whatever we can actually do. So what an individual can do and how much an individual can contribute towards the quality of the institution is another thing that I would request him to speak on, so that we can start doing it, so that we can just begin with our contribution to the whole bit. And to my friends, I would also like to tell you that Dr. Ahluwalia is the best person who could speak on this issue, because though Dr. Manoj has read his biodata and actually he has given us a citation number of citation also, but I don't think that defines Dr. Ahluwalia. He has been a great teacher, and not only a great teacher, he has been a great innovator and a person who has gone beyond the very narrow confines of teaching. What is teaching? If I ask you a very basic question of what is teaching and what do you consider teaching, then we can reduce it to a very minimalistic definition, a very technical definition. But if we want to expand it, the idea, if we want to expand the concept, we can just take it beyond limit, and it can be an infinite way of understanding things. So I think here is a teacher who has, in different capacities and with his own individual grit and determination and creativity, he has done so many things, and which is really inspiring. And that is why I think group of new teachers, group of young teachers should look at the senior teachers to tell us the things and to tell us how they have done, how they have fared during their journey, and how we can, and which can also actually help us when we are faced with the dilemma of not having enough resources, not having enough motivation, and we crib about certain things. So I think we will be shown some kind of a beacon. Thank you, Professor Ahluwalia, and thank you, Dr. Manoj, to bring up all these people here. And I would request over to Dr. Ahluwalia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manoj and Dr. Jayanti. I am very happy to be with my colleagues. First of all, I must admit that I am just like you, a teacher first and anything else later. And I am really very happy on one thing, at least because of this pandemic or lockdowns which are happening. At least, you know, we are exploring the platforms of the highways of internet to more frequently, you know, be with each other, despite the fact that we are physically very much far apart, but still we are talking with each other. I had a very small morning session with Dr. Manoj. We were trying to test whether things are working or not. And it's amazing that I'm sitting at my home and I'm trying to interact with so many people. And what else do we want? What's the most fundamental thing which a teacher does? A teacher interacts with his or her students. And that is, I think, the most crucial thing which we need to indulge in. If we are in a situation where we are not able to meet physically, at least virtually we are able to meet. There is no doubt about it. I am thankful to Dr. Manoj that your organization has given me this opportunity to be with you on this very interesting topic. I am a physics wala basically, let me tell you that. But you know, in your career, you keep on getting opportunities to look at various other dimensions of your profession itself. So I also had my opportunities, and I really enjoyed those opportunities very much, but whenever they came on my way. But never left physics. Physics has been my bread and butter, so I kept on doing it. Still, I do it even if I am sitting at home. So the topic is very clear. We are going to talk about quality, and Dr. Jayanti actually very clearly and in very briefly said that quality is very fuzzy kind of a thing. I also feel that it is like that. It's very amorphous, you know. Amorphous is like, you know, clay, wet clay. There is no shape of the clay as such. But once it comes in the hands of, say, a person who knows how to mold clay into different beautiful shapes, the clay starts taking form. Same is true with quality. when it comes in the hands of people who know what's the meaning of it in their context, they start giving it shape, and it doesn't remain fuzzy or amorphous. It becomes tangible. It doesn't remain something which we cannot really see or feel. May I request that please go to the next slide. So I will say next, so please go to the next slide as I say that. So I'll just briefly tell you what I am going to really talk about in this. First of all, I'll give some of my feelings about these challenging times. And despite the fact that we'll try to see how we can reboot. There is terminology in computers where we say reboot the system. I think we are definitely into that situation. We switched off the system completely, and now we are interested in rebooting it, and we are finding there are many hiccups which are coming when we are trying to reboot it. We are not very sure whether the things will start working in the same fashion or with the same effect or not. Now, once we are into this kind of a situation, what we need to really look at is how to really explore resilience in the system. Is there a way to find out that kind of resilience which is always there? When you take a rubber band, you stretch it, and it comes back to a shape. Are we really having that kind of resilience or not? And there are two things which are happening now. I think in the last 4 months, we were looking for some responses, and we were not knowing how our responses should be there. But then we have to really also look at simultaneously some long-term strategies. And I think this resilience comes, and these kinds of responses come a lot from how you look at quality in your higher educational institution. I will also talk about a few other things. When we say assurance, what is the meaning of that? And when we say that we are going to go for assurance, quality assurance, we indulge in a very elaborate exercise. Normally we conduct that at the end of the period for which we are accredited. And before that time period of 5 to 6 months, which Dr. Jayanti also hinted, we take it easy, we say, okay, when the time will come, we will see what is to be done. And, we start gathering people around and we ask them, we look for the data, etc., and then we try to see how to prepare that self-evaluation report also. In this context, it is very important that we understand the difference between quality assurance and quality enhancement. And try to really see, can we make quality a DNA of the system or not? Next, please. When we start talking about quality assurance and quality enhancement, you will find that there is a basic difference, and very many people have really given very nicely the difference between these two. I have been, when I was Director Internal Quality Assurance Cell, when I was told that you have to look after this aspect also, fortunately, we had about 3 years to go before that NAAC accreditation inspection. So I started searching for literature that let me understand what is the meaning of this in the context of education itself. And I came across these two terminologies whenever anybody was really thinking in terms of improving the quality of the system itself. One was quality assurance, another was quality enhancement. Now, when we talk of quality assurance, we are trying to look at inspectors who are going to come to us and look at the various things. The kind of things which we have done in the last so many years before the next cycle. So quality assurance actually reflects external interests and requirements. Some people from outside are going to come, they are going to judge us, and we try to look at what are their requirements and what are their interests. This is exactly what we try to do in the last 6 months. We have been given those 7 criteria. We try to look at each and every criteria and we try to see what have we done. Sometimes we don't make an effort to look at what we need, with what we have been required to do regarding those criteria itself. So once that team comes, gives us some kind of a grading, this is very much dependent on inspection. What kind of team is coming, in what mood they were there, how you were able to present things before them. All these things actually get into the grade. It doesn't actually reflect some kind of an intrinsic motivation at the part of the higher educational institution. Rather, it is some kind of an extrinsic motivation. Okay, NAAC wants us to do this. That is why we are doing it like that. And if I ask you, could you really do something better than that? Then he'll say, oh, I don't know, because NAAC required us to do this. We have done it. What else we could have done? That is a simple answer which actually comes to us. Complete control on this inspection is in the hands of the external inspectors. It is their subject and not our subject. They will come, they will interact with us, and that's it. And all the time, you know, they focus on information. You say you are very good researchers. So what do? You actually gather data that there are so many faculty members. Each has contributed in publications so much, in organizing seminars, etc., in terms of citations. And that is the information which is given out to them. Inspectors may ask you, come on, if you are saying that you have so much, or so and so has published so many publications, show us the publications. So they want to do what is known as physical verification of the various things. And if they are satisfied, fine. Otherwise, you cannot really do much to it. But when it comes to quality enhancement, actually, we are going beyond assurance. We are saying that internally, we are intrinsically interested in what we are actually doing as far as our stakeholders are concerned. We are looking after their interests. We are motivating them. We are giving them the right kind of values. If we are actually looking at it in this way, instead of looking at it the way inspectors look at it, we will be looking at it in a very, very different fashion. Quality enhancement actually centers on evaluation. Now, when we do self-study report, if you are, very serious about it, you will simultaneously, start looking at where do we stand. So we start evaluating it. But sometimes when we prepare that report, it is too late to really do any kind of intervention to improve the quality of the system itself. Another thing which is very important is inspectors come and we are actually playing for the extrinsic motivation. Whereas when we are talking of quality enhancement, we are thinking in terms of some kind of an intrinsic motivation is there on the part of us as stakeholders, as teachers, as researchers, as education administrators, or maybe as students, because when we have to really bring quality, we need to really involve all sorts of stakeholders to define that amorphous thing into something which becomes visible to us. Another very important thing is that when inspectors come, it is like, giving you a kind of a stamp. Whereas when you are talking of quality enhancement, and if you are looking at quality in this fashion, you are trying to empower your stakeholders. And last of all, where are we? We are in an educational institution. Why people come there? They come there to learn. So every activity of ours is revolving around one thing only, and that is the pivot for us, learning. And this learning then leads to all other components of any typical higher education institutions. Transmission, creation of new knowledge, innovation, all such things, start coming if we are focused on learning itself. When a research scholar comes, when he is trying to really look for a new problem, he is looking at the literature. What he is trying to do, he is trying to learn what is there which will be very interesting to explore. What are the methodologies which we have to really indulge in looking at various aspects of that particular problem. So everything in quality assurance is, playing to the gallery of inspectors. Whereas in quality enhancement, we are playing to the gallery of the stakeholders, among which student is our focus. Next, please. So this is something very, very important. Now, let me really try to look at this process of quality assurance more, closely. Because I also looked at it because I was made director of internal quality assurance cell. So when I was given this responsibility, the first thing which I found was that there has to be an internal quality assurance cell. And to be very frank, our internal quality assurance cell was very, very dormant. In the last inspection, whatever report which has been submitted by the inspectors, nobody had even bothered to look at it. We were given a B grade. And when that grade news came, everybody was, upset that we are not B grade. We should have been getting better grade. Maybe somebody didn't present the things nicely before the inspectors. So this kind of, talk was there around quality. So when I looked at it, NAAC had recommended that you should have such composition of this internal quality assurance cell. And most of the times I felt that they are focusing too much on senior members of the faculty. All deans are there, maybe control of examination is also there, maybe dean student welfare is also there, all deans are there. And they are very senior people. They can always give you instructions, but when it comes to doing things, they will always say, yeah, this is the business of the director of the internal quality assurance cell. So you find yourself in a very strange kind of a situation that somebody is saying, no, it is your business to look at the quality. Our business is to come, you please present things before us. If we will have some suggestions to give you, we will give you. Otherwise, they will talk goody things and the meetings will end. So I talked to my Honorable Vice Chancellor. At that time, Professor Vajpayee was there. And I told him, sir, I don't think we should really keep the composition of the internal quality assurance cell limited to honorable members who are very senior. We must bring in young people into internal quality assurance cell. Even if there is no provision, we should really make them invitees, or we should really extend the scope of our cell itself by making them very much the part of the system itself. So this is one thing which is which was there, and the number of members in the internal quality assurance cell almost tripled as a result of this. And we have more, young people coming in the meetings, listening, sometimes, raising hands to give some kind of a suggestion. And in this way, what was happening? We could identify some people from outside internal quality assurance cell who were coming with good ideas to work upon and take responsibility also. They were ready to, do what is known as donkey work. We said, okay, we would like to really do this. They will say, yes, sir, we are ready to do that. For example, there is something called SWOT, which is to be done. The NAAC says that you must do it, and you must try to do it from time to time. Maybe after every 2 years, you must try to review the things and try to reinvent the things and try to see how you can really improve. Now, preparing a SWOT document itself was a challenging task. And I think it would not have been possible for the Director Internal Quality Assurance Cell who is very new to the idea of quality as such in a very elaborate manner. And I was finding that now I have a set of people who have no, what you call expectation, but who want to contribute and see that what they are doing is appreciated. Earlier, there used to be focus on gathering data. And I think we have mentioned it earlier also. Activity starts 6 months before self-assessment report is to be posted for accreditation. In fact, quality assurance cell becomes a kind of a post office for receiving that data. And that data is like an information. It is not a process information. So you start looking at it, try to, fill those forms, try to get something out of it, but that doesn't really present the kind of picture which is there on the ground. It needs to be elaborated. It needs to reveal that what effort you have actually made to do the things. And that is where you try to really process that data to tell people that where do we stand. And I would call it not self-assessment report. I will call it self-evaluation report than anything else. There is a difference between these two terminologies also. And if we are just preparing a self-assessment report after the data has been received, you can just hope for the best if you have not done that exercise in the last 5 years, which could show how quality enhancement has happened as compared to the last cycle of accreditation itself. Next, please. So we are very clear what is the process. Now, when we come to quality enhancement, there is a subtle difference. Here, you are supposed to look at what you do and document it. So documentation doesn't happen at the end of the quality assurance cell itself or at the end of the director quality assurance. It starts happening at the level of the stakeholders, departments, students, library, your health department, your faculty house, your sports activities, etc., etc. And you ask yourself a very simple question. This is what is coming to me. This is how I feel it. How can I do it in a better way? So when you ask this question, you are actually looking for improvement. And I think that is the most important thing, which will define ultimately the quality of the higher education institution. And ask, are there different ways of doing the same task? So what you do is you are looking for alternative approaches. Now, for example, today we are in a pandemic and now classrooms, the traditional classrooms are shut. Is there an alternative approach by which we can really come to the same kind of level which we used to think we are able to achieve inside the classroom physically? Then once you have, say, set of alternative approaches, we must ask, can we do it differently and better? And when we say doing it differently and better, this is what we are actually talking about transformation. This is where the transformation actually starts happening. And this is a very, very crucial point. So now see how within these two slides, the perception of the quality is actually changing. Earlier, we were responding to the inspectors. Here, we are responding to the real needs of our higher education institution, the real needs of the stakeholders, to make our higher education institution truly a center of learning. Next slide, please. So, as a result of this, what happens is that your quality assurance cell becomes a center of ideas. Lots of brainstormings happen there. Please go to the next slide. And what will happen is there will be, go to the back slide, please. What we will see is that by going through that process, which I initiated, it clarifies purposes and responsibilities. Who will be responsible for what? What is the purpose of doing this particular thing? It will help focus on tasks, methods, and standards. Now, you can give number of examples, regarding various activities which happen in the higher education institutions. Whether it is teaching, whether it is assessment, whether it is evaluation at the end of the term, whether it is usage of the library, you start helping yourself via this process. You get a kind of a focus on tasks, methods, and standards. Believe me that in the last, in that period in which I was there in the internal quality assurance cell, people started realizing, oh, so many activities should be done around internal quality assurance cell itself. And we found there were a number of seminars which were happening. There were a number of activities which were happening as a result of the brainstorming sessions which were taking place in internal quality assurance cell. And I very, clearly told stakeholders that our aim here in this quality assurance cell is to generate actions. We are not at all worried about results. Actions will happen, results are bound to come. That was one of the fundamental, what you call motivations for us, that we are going to do some action and let us see whether things can happen or not. Let me just give you one example. There has been a lot of talk about choice-based credit system in the country. Since 2009, University Grants Commission has been sending, lots of letters to the honorable vice chancellors of the universities that you should really move towards that. On their end, they never brought any kind of a document before people that, oh, this is what we mean by choice-based credit system. Till almost 2014, there was no such document available. Nobody was talking about what do they mean by that. And then suddenly they started saying that if you will not do it, then we will not give you something which we want to give you. And what was that? They started floating what is called the carrot of Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, via which lots of funds were likely to be there in the higher education institutions. So there was one full chapter devoted to choice-based credit system in which they were insisting that this is the biggest reform which we need to do. So what we did was we said, okay, all right, we have to do it. So we went into our internal quality assurance cell, which was like a think tank to us, discussed about it, and we actually chalked out a program over a period of 6 to 7 months that we are going to really do this. Let us see what is it. We in fact invited people from outside also to enlighten us about choice-based credit system itself. And ultimately that was understood. I still have a presentation of about 80 slides, which takes about 2-3 hours to enunciate what does it actually mean. We talked to the stakeholders and we made sure that we talk to the stakeholders in the most, transparent fashion. Now, one of the very important things was in choice-based credit system to design syllabi for the various, papers for each of the courses which you are actually going to float later. And there were very many new dimensions in that. There were some core courses, there were some, compulsory skill-based courses, there were some hobby courses, and we indulged in all that exercise. And when that RUSA came, Government of Himachal Pradesh said, "Bhai, ye to aap jaldi karo, isko to aapko 3 mahine mein implement karna hai." So what to do? We said, all right, we have about 40 subjects in our university. For each one of these, we have to make a syllabus, say at the undergraduate level. So we said, and we told the Directorate of Higher Education and the Secretary of Education that we want to do a 3-tier process. Otherwise, how do we design our syllabi? The chairperson of the department of the university, makes a draft. It is put before the Board of Studies in which there are some senior members of the subject concerned. And over a cup of tea, it gets passed within 3-4 hours. We said, no, we are not going to do it like that. We are going to have a 3-tier process in which we will form teams. And that is where, you start looking for alternate approaches to look at various things. So what do the team do? We drew about 10 subject experts from various colleges for drafting of the syllabus itself. So we gave them time. Say within 1 or 2 weeks, you have old syllabi also. You have been given some kind of an understanding of choice-based credit system also. Please now draft syllabi keeping these things in mind. So those 10 people sat down for each subject. So there were 400 people involved in drafting of the syllabus itself. And this was happening for the first time in the university. And this is the right way of doing the things. Once it was done, we said we are not going to stop it. We want to have about 35 more people coming from the colleges to look at this draft itself. We were not going directly to the Board of Studies itself. And a small workshop was held to look at various dimensions, units, subunits, readings, the kinds of textbooks which have to be there in each of the papers. And we made sure that people are given in advance the copies of those drafts, syllabi, etc. So they looked at it, they made certain recommendations which were implemented in a draft, which was then taken to the Board of Studies, where external experts were sitting, senior subject experts were sitting, and they were able to really look at it and tell us that you please go ahead with that. Now, during this process itself, there were many challenges which were coming up. Some of the challenges were, we are going to have hobby courses, for example. So what are those hobby courses? Who is going to teach? We are going to have computer-based, skill-based courses. Who is going to teach? When we look at the, composition of the faculty in any higher education institution, they come to teach certain subjects, physics, chemistry, biology, English, Hindi. But when it comes to, say, teaching some kind of a hobby, we have to really find now ways and means that how this same faculty can be involved in that. Now, we found after a lot of discussion, some alternative approaches in that. Alternative approach was this. Suppose I want to do something as a hobby course. So somebody said, can we do a hobby course in home science? And one of the faculty members in the basic first meeting came out with an idea. Yes, we can have a 1 credit course on cooking. And on further, asking her that what is your motivation for this, there was a wonderful motivation which came out of it. She said, many students come to the colleges who live in actually a small rented accommodation, which they call a quarter. Everything is there in one small room. Their kitchen, their study room, their bedroom, everything is there. Their cooking also is done there. And they always sacrifice their nutrition at the cost of everything else. So how can I help? She said, I would like to have 14 recipes in that particular course. And I would like that the nutritious need of the students are taken care of. And I am ready to really design that particular course. So these were, some very interesting moments which came during this process itself. So we helped people to really become participative. So now it was not quality assurance cell who was doing all these things. Something was, initiated, and we allowed it to, percolate down to the grassroots level so that we can really look at it. People even talk now about one thing more, that whenever syllabi are being designed, these must be discussed with the stakeholders, that is the students. Those who have passed out, they should give their impression about the syllabus. Those who are going to come, it should be made, they should be made aware about what they are going to really get into it. That is why there is a lot of focus now on learning outcomes itself. So what is happening here? Clients and stakeholders, they are getting appropriate attention during this whole process itself. And it also helps us in critical self-evaluation. When we were actually drafting that new syllabus, we were very critically looking at what was there in the old syllabus itself. Also, this process brings what? This process brings acceptance. Now try to see how many people got involved in whole of this process. 40 subjects, 10 people, 400. Say 25 in that workshop multiplied by 40. Try to see how this number has increased to now 1400. Then again 10 multiplied by 40. Another 400 people were involved in it as far as Board of Studies was concerned. So you were finding now 2000 people actually were involved. And when we floated this, nobody was able to say this. हमें तो किसी ने पूछा नहीं जी, बना दिया syllabus और हमको दे दिया. Though later University Grants Commission came out with their draft syllabi, which they started putting on the web. Surprisingly, our syllabi were there on our website. Some of the members there looked at our syllabus and that was taken as it is into that final syllabus made by the University Grants Commission. I know about that because of my own subject in computational physics. So this is what happens. Suddenly you find that somebody found something good in the exercise which you have actually done. So it brings imagination, it brings commitment, it brings initiative. So there were lots of things which were happening around that. And that is where the idea of announcement actually comes. And that is why I wanted to talk about it with you. Let's go to the next slide, please. So I hope this has clarified what is the meaning of it. And this has been, very nicely quoted by former Director of Higher Education, Quality Council of UK, Robin Middlehurst. She puts it like this: ideas, new, original, reinvented and co-created. I would like to really underline reinvented, co-created. Now see how synergy comes when lot more people come and participate into this. They are the life blood of higher education, generated through individual and collective creativity. There was a time when I was thinking, सारी quality का ठेका इन्होंने मुझे देके दे दिया. Whereas my approach was this, that this ठेका has to be with the stakeholders. They must try to really look at it individually as well as collectively. So this statement, this quotation became my guiding principle during the term of Director Internal Quality Assurance. I always, used to read it again and again and again to do something, to take some ideas into the quality assurance cell and telling them, mind it, you are the think tank. और आपके सामने तो कुछ भी लाके रखा जा सकता है. आप किसी के बारे में भी बात कर सकते हो. आपको कोई रोक नहीं सकता. You are not a body की वहां पे आपको कोई, ये तो think tank है, सोचो. Let us see, can we really put forward? And as a result of this, that SWOT exercise which I talked about, the document is there with me. Manojji, if you would like to have that, I will really give it to you. Let people really have a seminar on that itself, that what is the meaning of the SWOT itself. We did it and took 6 months to actually finalize it. Then we also, looked at what is known as student charter. When we actually were doing this exercise of student charter, in our country, I looked around in the universities, 4-5-10 लाइनों का student charter था. Nobody was actually talking about in details. The charter actually, if you translate it into Hindi, stands for Adhikar Patra. Sometimes people don't understand the meaning of charter. When we were drafting it, we conducted a seminar with the students. And the student organization leaders got up and they said, sir, ये तो ना आप हमारे पे पाबंदी लगाने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. So we said, okay, please be in this seminar. You have every right to criticize us, but let us have a look at this charter itself. अगर आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि इसमें आप पे पाबंदी लग रही है, तो we will modify it. I assured them that we have defined the rights of the students and what are the needs on the part of the university to give them those kinds of rights. It was a one-day exercise, but before that, a group of people had worked very hard on that. Similarly, we worked on teacher evaluation. If you look at teacher evaluation performance, they convey nothing to the student, not to the teacher, neither to the administration. There are 5, 6, 7 things which are written there, nothing else. So what we did was we again worked on that and we found that, we can really look at the qualities of a teacher in different dimensions. Maybe that dimension can be just empathy towards the student. Nobody was talking about that. People were talking about covering the syllabus. Syllabus cover hota hai, time pe nahi hota hai. They were talking about that. But there is much more than that. Why today during pandemic, we are feeling that social distancing is really taking us away from our students. Why? We are not getting a nod from the student what we are actually saying. नहीं तो हमें क्लास में क्या होता है एज ए टीचर, जब हम पढ़ाते हैं ना तो एक दो बच्चे जो है ना जब अपना सिरे लाते हैं तो हमको लगने लगता है कि नहीं कुछ समझ में आ रहा है, अदरवाइज तो कुछ ऐसे ही तो नहीं चला हुआ है. सो वी हैव टू रियली थिंक अबाउट वेज एंड मीन्स. नो फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमने अपने कैमराज ऑफ करे हुए, कोई बात नहीं, बट अगर कैमराज ऑन होते आई वुड हैव बीन एबल टू सी द रिएक्शन ऑफ द पीपल फ्रॉम देयर फेसेस इटसेल्फ, हाउ दे आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट. नो ऑल दीज थिंग्स मैटर ए लॉट. तो वो परफॉर्मा भी बहुत सुंदर बन के निकल के आया एंड वी डिड लॉट्स ऑफ डेलिब्रेशंस ऑन दैट. सबसे बड़ा ऑब्जेक्शन उसके ऊपर ये था दैट सर पीपल इन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, द अथॉरिटीज may use it as a document for harassing us. So we made sure that when we write the preamble of that teacher evaluation performer, we write it in black and white that it is for providing an opportunity to the teacher to improve his relationship, his teaching capabilities, his research capabilities, etc., in the context of teacher-student interaction. And it will not be used otherwise for harassing the teacher itself. It is part of that preamble itself. I think we can spend a seminar on discussing that performa itself. Very comprehensive. It can be very nicely implemented into what we call a IT based performa. Google form में convert हो सकता है. We can give it to the students and get the information. It is on 5-point Likert scale, and you can get all the quantitative information about the evaluation of the teacher itself. Next, please. So this is the process of enhancement. So as I mentioned with you, what happened? There was a complete transformation of IQAC. We converted ourselves from a data collection center and sorting center to a think tank. Otherwise, you are getting a lot of information, और वो इतना raw information आती है, people even don't apply their mind when they try to give that information. Sometimes you will find that the contradictory information is coming. So what happens as a result of this? Quality becomes everybody's business. It is not the business of one person only. It is a business of all the stakeholders, whether they are within the system or they are outside the system. When I say outside, parents are, part of the stakeholders, but they are not very much into the system. They are via their, wards. Similarly, industry is very much a stakeholder, but they are also not directly involved unless you involve them. So what you find is when you start looking at in this particular fashion, it becomes what we call a business of everybody. And people start feeling, yeah, we are talking of something where there is a willingness to change. This is very important. We always say change is the constant of nature. But when we want to change, maximum resistance happens there. People will come with lots of, objections to क्या जरूरत है चेंज करने की, ठीक तो चल रहा था, आप क्यों इसको चेंज करने लगे हुए हो, आप सारे प्रोसेस को डिस्टर्ब करोगे. बट कहीं you need to really disturb that kind of a process itself. So when quality becomes everybody's business, there is a transformation which is bound to happen. That is very, very important. Next, please. So be clear about it. Now, enhancing learning also, requires a relook at processes from syllabus design to learning outcomes to assessment. Design करा हमने syllabus, learning outcomes हमने बात करी और assessment की तरफ जाने लगे. Present system में आप मेरी बात को गलत मत समझना. हमारा फोकस हमेशा ये है कि भाई हम तो ना affiliating part है system का. We have been affiliated to this university. It is the business of this university to do everything. I think the time has come where we really need to get away with this affiliating system. And that is what we have been observing in this pandemic. All those, institutions which were autonomous, IITs, IIMs, NITs, your autonomous institutions, even private institutions, when it came to them that exams are to be conducted. I was reading in the today's newspaper itself, around 500 universities are there who have already conducted those exams in one way or the other by defining new processes itself. So, you know, by looking at our processes, hopefully we are in a situation to take care of such disruptive situations which nobody had imagined have happened as a result of the COVID-19. So we'll have to, you know, अब हमें करना पड़ेगा. Sometimes, you know, people are thinking when we are trying to teach our students from home and when they are trying to learn from home itself, that टीचर तो कुछ नहीं करता है जी, घर में बैठा हुआ है, उसको तो तनख्वाह भी पूरी नहीं मिलनी है, भाई हमें जो फीस देते हैं उसको भी काट लेना चाहिए. I mean, these are very strange kinds of things which are coming. One excuse or the other, you know, whereas most of you who are sitting in this particular lecture must be realizing that teaching from home is not an easy task. It is a very challenging task. We have not been prepared for it. Suddenly we were told कि जाओ और पढ़ाओ आप बच्चों को. We were not knowing the new technologies also. Nobody really gave us those kinds of exposures. So we are now facing that situation. So are we ready for such disruptive situations? Let's go to the next, please. And we will find that there are number of possible ways if we want to really take care of such situations. And I think the most important thing in it is feedback. Do we have those kinds of mechanisms with us where we get feedbacks and honest feedback from the stakeholders? And I think feedback is the fuel for enhancing quality, because feedback helps us to identify areas for improvement by establishing a culture of structured feedback, open feedback, interviews, and to know whether enhancement is actually happening or not. I'll tell you one very interesting exercise which we did as part of Quality Assurance Cell itself. We have a library, and if you go to the library of Himachal Pradesh University, and I think that is true in every university's library, that students want to sit there. They may not be interested in sitting in the classroom, but they want to sit there and study there. So, you know, NAAC also has said कि आपको ना एक परफॉर्मा बना करके जरा चेक करना है आपकी लाइब्रेरी क्या कर रही है. So we looked at that performer. Again, we found that this performer has not something which we would like to really see. So we remodeled that particular performer. And then we really, through Google Forms, implemented it. About 750 students actually participated in it. In that performer, there was a very simple question, you know, that will give you a feeling of how feedback comes out of such structured possibilities. Is there photostat facility available there? If it is there, what are the charges? University has a fixed rate for photostat facility for one page. You know, there were 4 rates which came out in that performer when we tried to analyze it. Who was taking that money? Somebody sitting in that facility of the university itself was charging that enhanced money without the knowledge of the authorities itself. Second thing which was there, we thought before we really administered that questionnaire that students go there and study for their subject preparation, etc., because they are doing a course in MSc, say physics or botany, zoology, education, etc., etc. What we found was almost 80% of the students go there not for their, you know, course studies. They go there for some different reasons. They want to prepare for NET/SET, they go there. They want to prepare for administrative services, they sit there. They want to prepare for banking examinations, they sit there. Then we ask ourselves this question: do we find some kind of facilities to our students to take care of these kinds of needs? There were very interesting questions about, you know, internet resources which are available in our university. How many people know that this is available, this is available, this is available? We found that there was no awareness program conducted by the library to tell students that these are the possibilities which are there available to you right in the library itself. So feedback is one of the most important things. When I was talking about teacher evaluation performer, it was a way of getting a feedback about the things. So to know whether enhancement is actually happening or not, I think we need to have structured feedback. External लोगों से भी feedback लिया, अगर आपने देखा होगा NIRF का ranking आ रही है, आपकी accreditation की ranking NAAC कर रहा है. There are two very interesting elements in that recently which was introduced. You know, they are also getting a questionnaire answered by the students. If those are not answered by the students to a typical number, they say you apply again for accreditation. We will not come for inspection, etc. Similarly, in these rankings, also we are finding that there is something called perception. हिमाचल प्रदेश यूनिवर्सिटी की लोगों के दिमाग में परसेप्शन क्या है, पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी की परसेप्शन क्या है, दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की परसेप्शन क्या है, एक छोटे जैसे टाउन में बनी हुई यूनिवर्सिटी की परसेप्शन लोगों के दिमाग में क्या है. We find JNU gets very good perception. They score very high on that grade. Maybe HP University as good as JNU, but will not have that kind of a perception in the minds of say people who can feel the aura of higher education around. So this is where when you are going through these kinds of feedbacks, when you try to fill those performers of NIRF, etc., or of the accreditation self-evaluation reports, you will have lots of things which you can give to them to see that you are making an effort. And by making an effort, they say, try to define what are your best practices. Now, all these turn out to be then best practices. And these best practices which you then unroll in your institution also give you what? That also gives you a very interesting thing. And that interesting thing is regarding a very simple idea. And that simple idea is that we have something to act upon. We have some actions which get generated, and those actions lead to some kind of results. This is very, very crucial and important. Let's go to the next slide, please. This is the last slide, and I think before I really read what is there in it, I just want to, talk about one very interesting thing which happened as a result of pandemic. When this started happening, my fellow friends, teachers started saying कि सर कैसे करें, हमारे पास तो इसके बारे में कुछ भी available नहीं है, हम कैसे implement करें. We conducted a very small program, and Dr. Jayanti was also a part of that, in HRDC before the lockdown. In that, we had done a very small exercise that was on actually books, how to prepare books. There is one emphasis now कि हर एक को ना अपना MOOC अपने आप बनाना है. आप बनाओ आप अपना MOOC, ट्रांसपेरेंसी आप अपनी presentations बनाओ, आप PPTs बनाओ, आप अपनी assessments बनाओ. ये टाइम ऐसा था हमारे पास, तो we were not ready for that. So what to do? So what we found was, in that particular program, we came out with a very interesting way to create a MOOC out of the resources which are available on the internet itself. And I call it as a 7-column mantra. What is there in that 7-column mantra? First column is serial number. Second column is the units and subunits of your syllabi. So you actually write down that in the form of a table itself. Third one is e-text. Now, what can be e-text? E-text can be something which is available. Let me talk in the context of schools only. In schools, NCERT provides a book, textbook. I find that chapter-wise e-text of that can be linked to this particular column for each unit and subunit. And similarly, you will find lots of e-texts are now available under EPG Pathshala, under PG Pathshala, because these have been developed under 4-quadrant approach. After that, you go on the internet. In the next column, what you do is you provide a link for a video. In that particular program, we asked participants to create one such course. So one of the students from Gujarat Vidyapeeth, she created a 4-page document of a MOOC out of the internet resources on research methodology itself. Manoj, I can send you that also. You can share that with the participants, that how that exercise was actually done. Sure. And in that, she created a wonderful video list linked with the syllabus itself. And this idea came to my mind from where? When we were doing our syllabus redesign, there we were talking about compulsory skill-based computer courses. कौन बनाएगा उनको? पता नहीं लग रहा था. So we came to know that in
No, sir, it is stopped.
Yeah, seems the link has problem. So let's just wait for a few minutes.
स्लाइड तो आ रही है, आवाज और वो नहीं आ रही.
Actually, in the meantime, I have posted the Google form, and this Google form is created by Dr. Naveen Pandey. हमने पिछली बार भी 2-4 सेमिनार अटेंड करे हैं और हमारा सर्टिफिकेट लिखना मेरा पर्सनल काम बन गया बाद में. दिस टाइम आई एम हैप्पी दैट नवीन हैज क्रिएटेड एन ऑनलाइन फॉर्म. तो ये प्लीज डाउनलोड दैट फीडबैक फॉर्म, पूरा सुन के जाइए और उसके बाद ये फॉर्म भर दीजिए. सो वी आर जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर Ahluwalia sir.
Manoj sir, maybe give a call to Ahluwalia sir.
Okay, I'll just give him a call. And others also are requested to ask, write their questions in the meantime.
Oh, hello, Manoj ji. Hello. Hello. Hello.
I think he is on phone. Yeah, Ahluwalia sir, you are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Unmute. Hello, Manoj sir.
वो फोन पे है सर अभी.
ये गूगल फॉर्म किससे मिलेगी?
Am I back?
Yes, you are back now.
Are you able to?
Yeah, we
Are
can
you
hear
able to listen to?
Yes sir, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So I was sorry, there was some disruption. So please don't worry about that. So what we actually did was that column had videos. There were other columns also in them. One was for learning outcomes, another was for assessment, and another was for rubrics. Now, once we have this table prepared for a particular course or particular paper, what you can find is that it's very easy to implement that in such a pandemic scenario itself. So this was the idea which we proposed, and now I am finding many of my colleagues, they actually went ahead with this kind of an idea of 7-column table mantra for creating your own internet MOOC, and it is working. And now they are also finding that how such a thing can be done and how it can be further done on their own also. So they are getting into that kind of a mode. So this was something which brings resilience into the system. So if you want to make your system resilient, then you will find that these are the possibilities which are there, and hopefully you will find that this lecture will motivate you for really becoming part of the quality assurance, quality enhancement business of your higher education institution. And this last slide which you are seeing on the screen is something which I would really like to talk about. And what is there in it? A small verb has been written which says, those who want to sing always find a song. I wanted to sing the song of SWOT. I was able to do that. I wanted to sing the song of student charter. I was able to do that with a collective wisdom of my colleagues in the university. We wanted to make quality assurance cell a think tank, and we were able to do that. I hope this 1 hour which I have spent, I have taken almost exactly 1 hour in bringing out what I wanted to say, will help you ponder over the way equality is looked at. Who is going to give quality a kind of a shaped, so that it doesn't remain fuzzy, so that it doesn't remain amorphous. It is in your hands, colleagues. If you will come forward, take initiative, participate in the activities of the quality assurance cell, I hope that you will enjoy doing things also, and you will have, at the back of your mind a satisfaction. I got an opportunity and I could do that what I needed to do for my students, for the good of the higher education, for the good of my own, well-being. Because if you are doing good things in an institution, you also feel happy about that. So I wish you happy discovering, inventing, and innovating for not quality assurance alone, but for quality enhancement. Thank you very much. So now you are welcome to ask me questions. Yes,
Sir, we had requested our participants to write the questions, so I'll just read some of them. Madam Neelam Kumari from Home Science College. She says, what's the relation between personal development and institutional development? So generally, they are at cross with each other. So
enable
personal development and institutions.
Okay. Okay, right. In fact, when you are going into an institution, you are going for both your personal development as well as institutional development. Now, it depends on you how your personal development can contribute towards the institutional development. You have to identify that. If you can identify that, you will feel happy about it. Then there will be no conflict. Then there will be no contradiction. When actually we say personal development and institutional development, sometimes we feel that we are not getting time to do research in the context of our educational institution itself. हमें और ही कामों में लगाए रहते हैं, हमारी पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो रही है. I think you need to create windows. Small windows need to be created for doing those kinds of personal developments. I was talking to Manoj in the morning in that small meeting before this seminar itself. And that was a very interesting meeting. Let me tell you, dear friends, what was there? अभी जब मेरी इनके साथ बातचीत खुली नहीं थी तो मैं सुन रहा था ये आपस में कुछ बात कर रहे थे और वो बात हो रही थी एक प्रोजेक्ट ये करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं अपने स्टूडेंट के साथ. तो मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा सुन के that somebody is sitting in the college trying to look at a problem which is a very serious problem in the society, and they have brought out a kind of a problem for the PhD study, which can have very interesting openings in the minds of people itself in terms of its conclusions. So it depends on you. I mean, how you look at it. Can you use your classroom for doing research? Very many people think नहीं classroom में तो सिवाय पढ़ाने के कुछ नहीं और हो सकता है. There are number of possibilities which can happen in the classroom itself. So please do keep in mind personal development and institutional development, they go hand in hand. They are not in contradiction with each other. It's never like that. If you are happy, if your personal development is there, institution will also be happy. Believe me, because institution asks you, भाई आपने क्या personal development करी इस जो हमारी accreditation में हमारी मदद कर सके, जो quality enhancement. देखिए कई बार क्या होता है, institutions are known not by what is being taught there, but who is teaching what. मैं जब अपने कॉलेज में था तो मुझे पता है मैथमेटिक्स में एक किताबें लगती थी बंसीलाल जी की. पता नहीं आप में से कितने लोगों ने वो किताबें पढ़ी हैं, शायद अभी भी वो मार्केट में होंगी मैथमेटिक्स की किताबें. और हमें पता लगता था बंसीलाल की किताब है तो अच्छी किताब होगी. लोग डीएवी कॉलेज जलंधर में जाते थे इसलिए पढ़ने कि वहाँ बंसीलाल जी जैसे जो है प्रोफेसर बैठे हुए हैं. So all these things, they go hand in hand. You go to a department and you know that this department is good, not because of say that आपने उसकी बड़ी close study करी हुई है, but you know that the people sitting there are capable of delivering the goods itself, and that is coming because of their personal developments, which helped in institutional development also. Yes, Manoj ji, next question.
Sir, राजेश शर्मा जी ने पूछा है क्वेश्चन, जीसीएम में प्रोफेसर फिजिक्स के हैं. तो और इसके अलावा दो और क्वेश्चंस हैं. तो बेसिकली दे ऑल रिलेट टू द प्रॉब्लम्स बिटवीन द प्रोफेशन एंड इंस्टीट्यूशन. तो जयेश जी कह रहे हैं कि प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग हमें दी नहीं, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हमें दिया नहीं, और इन पैंडेमिक टाइम में हमें कहा जा रहा है कि ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग करो. तो वो जैसे तैसे हम कर रहे हैं. but that sometimes comes in between the profession and oneself. How to deal with such a situation? Infrastructure नहीं मिलता, training नहीं मिलती, online training के लिए teaching लिए हमें compel किया जा रहा है. What's your take on it, sir?
Okay. देखिए ये challenges हैं हमारे system की. और ये सिस्टम के चैलेंजेस जो हैं में कई बार हम ये सोचते हैं कोई हमें ट्रेनिंग देगा. आई होप यू आर एबल टू लिसन टू मी.
ये सब पीछे से कोई आवाज आ रही है. Maybe somebody else. हाँ, किसी और का होगा.
Somebody.
Okay, please.
Can I continue?
Please you continue.
I think Dr.
प्लीज
Sunakra is
किसी का माइक ऑन है वो ऑफ कर लीजिए जिससे कि क्लियर आवाज सुन सके.
Dr. Sunakra is unmuting many times. I have seen him.
कोई बात नहीं, will do. Please sir, you continue.
So, see ये challenges हैं और मैं आपको बताऊं हमें कभी भी परफेक्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं मिलेगा, कभी परफेक्ट ट्रेनिंग नहीं मिलेगी, कभी परफेक्ट एक्सपोजर नहीं मिलेगा. ये ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिनके बारे में हमको कई बार बिकॉज वी आर इन हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन हमको इनोवेट करना पड़ेगा. जैसे आज की डेट में मैं आपसे बातचीत कर रहा हूँ, मेरे को किसी ने नहीं इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर दिया हुआ है इसके लिए, मेरा अपना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है एंड आई एम वेरी फॉर्चुनेट कि आज की डेट में मार्केट में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हमारे को अवेलेबल है. हमें कोई इसके बारे में चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है. कई बार स्पीड की प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं बट आई थिंक दोज आर आल्सो छोटी छोटी हिकअप्स हमारे इस प्रेजेंटेशन में भी आई. जैसे अभी ये पीछे से आवाज़ आने लग गई, पिक्चर्स क्लियर नहीं आ रही हैं, बट आई थिंक कोई भी आपको, मैं फिजिक्स वाला हूँ, हमने मेरी जो कोर एरिया है कंडेंस्ड मैटर फिजिक्स उसमें मैं कंप्यूटर्स पे काम करता हूँ. मुझे कोई फॉर्मल ट्रेनिंग किसी ने नहीं दी कंप्यूटर्स पे काम करते. आते गए, धीरे धीरे लर्न करते गए, लोगों के साथ बातचीत करके हम सीखते चले गए एंड इट इज आउट ऑफ अस ओनली. समटाइम्स पीपल से ही इज एन एक्सपर्ट, देन वी आस्क हिम उसकी क्वालिफिकेशन क्या है, पता लगता है क्वालिफिकेशन तो उसकी कुछ भी नहीं है. व्हाट ही हैज डन इज ही हैज लर्नड थिंग्स ऑन द जॉब. तो आई थिंक ये पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं. आप देखिए, ये मान के चलिए कि 60% और 70% of the higher education institution students, they are having a mobile with them. इसमें कोई शक नहीं है. अभी अगर आपके साथ मेरा लिंक टूट जाता, I would have just gone on the mobile, again connected with you in discussing about all these things. तो ये ट्रेनिंग देखिए, आप HRDC बैठे हुए हैं, वो मूक्स की ट्रेनिंग करवाने में कोशिशें कर रहे हैं. आपके पास आज की डेट में कई ऐसे प्रोग्राम, अर्पित जैसे प्रोग्राम लॉन्च हुए हैं जिसमें आपको बोल रहे हैं कि अगर आपको से ये पर्टिकुलर चीज़ लर्न करनी है, सीखनी है, तो उसमें अपने आप को रजिस्टर कर लो और अब करवा लो. आई नो देयर आर नंबर ऑफ कोर्सेज विच आर बीइंग रन फॉर डेवलपिंग बुक्स ओनली. अभी पीछे मेरे एक कुलीग हैं, उन्होंने एक कोर्स किया हाउ टू मेक यूज़ ऑफ गूगल क्लासरूम इटसेल्फ. मोटिवेशन थी, वो चले गए उस कोर्स को करने, सीख ली चीज़ें. तो कई बार ना हमको अपने हैंडीकैप्स के साथ जीना पड़ता है और वही सबसे बड़ा लाइफ का चैलेंज है कि हमारे जो हैंडीकैप्स हैं उनके साथ हम कैसे जिएं. इससे ज़्यादा मेरे को लगता नहीं मैं आपसे कुछ और ज़्यादा बोल सकता हूँ.
नेचुरली सर, इनर मोटिवेशन हैज़ टू बी देयर. प्रॉब्लम्स तो आती हैं. अंजू खा, मीनाक्षी यादव, इन दोनों ने भी ऐसे ही क्वेश्चंस पूछे हैं कि आप लोग तो सर हमें कहा जाता है लुक फॉर अल्टरनेटिव्स. तो जब एक तो सिस्टम हमें कंटिन्यू करने के लिए कहता है, सिस्टम चेंज नहीं होता और अल्टरनेटिव्स आ जाते हैं, उनसे कैसे डील करें. अथॉरिटीज़ भी अल्टरनेटिव्स के प्रति रेजिस्टेंस रखती हैं. सो अगेन, हाउ टू डील विद द रेजिस्टेंस बाय द अथॉरिटीज़ एंड बाय द सिस्टम व्हेन वी आर लुकिंग फॉर अल्टरनेटिव्स.
ये देखिए, आपको ये चीज़ें सबके साथ ना जो है ये चैलेंजेस हमेशा आएंगे. अब आपको मैं बताऊं, हमने 5 साल मेहनत करी, चॉइस बेस्ड क्रेडिट सिस्टम और सेमेस्टर सिस्टम हिमाचल प्रदेश यूनिवर्सिटी में लागू किया. A student body started agitating, they agitated and ultimately an order comes not for education वालाज. कमेटी बनी, उस कमेटी ने डिसाइड करा कि जी खत्म करो, इसको एनुअल में बदल दो. अब क्या हो रहा है, जब हमारे जितने ये मूक्स आ रहे हैं, दे आर ऑलवेज सिंक्रोनाइज्ड विद सेमेस्टर सिस्टम. अगर किसी बच्चों को हम कह रहे हैं कि वो क्रेडिट अर्न कर रहे हैं थ्रू सच मूक्स जो कि लॉन्च किए हैं यूजीसी ने या गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने या ईपीजी पाठशाला वालों ने या एनपीटीईएल वालों ने, तो दे आर फाइंडिंग कि उनके सिंक ही नहीं है उसके साथ, तो क्या करेंगे आप बताओ? करने के बाद 5 साल काम करने के बाद somebody came which was a pure political decision to satisfy somebody. अब मान लीजिए क्या था, अगर ये सेमेस्टर सिस्टम होता तो हमें सिर्फ 6 महीने की फिक्र करनी थी। बच्चा अब साल भर का क्रेडिट लोड जो है वो कैरी करके चला हुआ है। Nobody really realized all these things. एक कमेटी बनाई which signed on dotted lines कि हाँ जी ये निर्णय हमको लेना है, खत्म कर दिया, वो सारी एफर्ट जीरो कर दी। बट कोई अफसोस नहीं है, जब हमारी बारी आई थी तो हमने दबा के काम करने की कोशिश की।
Right, sir. That is
और
very
ये डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करा that things can be done, and that is what is the attitude needed. Don't regret if somebody comes and disturbs you. This is part of the game itself.
right, sir. Dr. Rakesh thought
Yes, please.
you want to say something. Dr. Rakesh, please unmute yourself.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible, please.
Am I audible? Okay, okay. Sir, a day before I hosted an international webinar from my home, right, with more than
Yes.
4,800 views. But I want to tell all the fellow participants that you need to invest into a very good machinery if you want to do it from your home. All these enterprise does not merely come with your willpower. It requires a certain amount of money. It requires a certain amount of high technology. Now, I am somebody who is not technocentric. I learn it on my own, right? So I needed an external support. But to do this on a daily basis while you're teaching with a good audio quality and a video content, what is requisite is that you should have not a good laptop, but a good desktop. Let me emphasize this. When I was doing this webinar, my laptop, which is i5, a bit old, but it almost crashed. My router blew up in my home. So these are the things. So it's very, very important that ma'am is hearing. हम लोग जिन लोगों ने refresher course सारा कर लिया है, सब कुछ कर लिया है, please एक online tech training कराइए कि ये सॉफ्टवेयर को यूज करने के लिए लेटेस्ट हैंडल करने के लिए क्या करें, क्योंकि खुद से हिट एंड ट्रायल होता है और उसमें बहुत सारे ग्लिचेस आते हैं। इतना टाइम है नहीं, क्योंकि अगस्त 3 से पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी ने बोल दिया है कि आप ऑनलाइन क्लासेस लीजिए। तो वी ऑल आर ट्राइंग टू मेक पीपीटी दैट ऑलमोस्ट एवरीबडी नोज। You record your audio, you record your video, but that is very basic and rudimentary. To actually do live streaming, much more is required. So my humble request is that जो लोग भी सुन रहे हैं decision making से, teachers must be given some loan component or subsidy, like in many private institutions in this country and abroad, कि 50% हम पैसा लगाएं और 50% हमें इंस्टीट्यूशनल सपोर्ट मिले कि हम अपने घर में एक छोटा सा सेटअप कर सके। Otherwise, it requires a decent amount of investment for you to be professional. I hope Jayanti ma'am would like to reflect and maybe pass on to this, because just doing it over the phone, I did it over a phone and a laptop, but it is not something which is very easy. There are a lot of ifs and buts. So there has to be an institutional mechanism which should contribute to the teachers' कैपेसिटी। सब कोई कहते हैं टीचर को ये कर लेना चाहिए, वो कर लेना चाहिए। टीचर आखिर में करता भी है हिंदुस्तान में, नहीं भी कुछ आता है, थक हार के सीख के they deliver to their best. But what is required is institutional backup is majorly missing in terms of funding, in terms of advocacy, and in terms of sustaining the capacity growth of an individual. Thank you so much for giving me the time.
Manoj sir, I want to say something. Manoj sir.
जी प्लीज वन बाय वन।
मनोज, एक मेरा भी क्वेश्चन है, मैं वर्बली पूछूंगा।
ठीक है, प्लीज वन बाय वन। लेट मी जयंती मैडम रिस्पॉन्ड टू राकेश ठाकुर सजेशन। मैडम ये कोर्स करवा दीजिए हमें थोड़ा सा।
Actually, Dr. Rakesh has talked about kind of seed money or some kind of financial help which would help us to bring up infrastructure. I think that is a very valid point, but HRDC is not the agency to deal with these kind of things. I think it is the union which is the correct agency, and I think because this is a very valid request, this should be put forward. And I think we can all take it to the Chandigarh administration or to the Punjab University for these kind of, because this is not something we will, I think the new normal would actually bring in more blended learning. So this would be a good investment. Even if the government does some kind of an investment, it would be a good investment. But about the online teaching, about how to do online online teaching, I am associated with these kind of programs which are being held in Mumbai University and some other universities all over India. But at present, Punjab University is not looking into it. But I don't know, maybe tomorrow they can have some kind of an idea that before 3rd of August, we can hold, because if HRDC is asked to, we can surely hold small programs, 1 or 2 days training programs in which we can train people on how to handle online teaching. That can be done. Thank you.
So for the benefit of Rakesh Thakur and all other my friends, we have already roped in Dr. Tajendra Pal Singh from Punjab University. He has held the teaching sessions for all the teachers, 5 from each college. So he is a trained person, and he did not give us time in July. So hopefully we will have in August. So August में हम सारे teachers के लिए एक online training का session from the expert which I have named. He has agreed to be with us. जितना हम कर सकते हैं as an association training वो हम करवाएंगे बाहर से. Second, to ask for your legitimate demands. Of course, we all have been lucky enough in Chandigarh to get laptops and such facilities from administration. But ये जो नई वाली requirements हमारी आ गई हैं कि हमने बड़े-बड़े seminar कराने हैं. So of course we will put our requirements to the administration. Professor Ahluwalia wants to say something.
Yeah, actually, let me tell you one thing. मैंने आपको जो 7 मंत्रा वाला प्रोग्राम बताया है ना, Manoj ji, even you can form small teams at the level of your association itself, and you will find that there are a number of such programs which are going on in the country, and they are programs which are not like say 2-day program. They are covered over a period of about 15 or 20 days, in which a systematic, what you call training is given. They give you some video, you listen to that, and they give you some task, form it, and then you submit it. So that by the end of those 20 days, you will find that you have learned it very, very systematically. You can, ask those people. I can send you some links. You can ask those people to conduct that kind of a program for, say, Chandigarh professors only.
Right.
Okay, and they should register in it, and that will be conducted. They already have all the resources. And I think you will enjoy doing those programs. The way Dr. Tajendra does it, in the same fashion they are doing it on various elements. So आप अगर कर लें वो तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा.
जरूर sir, I'll be in touch with you. वो मैं आपसे लेके link समझ के then I'll share with others.
मनोज सर,
हाँ जी, कौन बोलना चाह रहे सर?
सर मैं राजेश, मैं एक बात कहना चाहता था. प्रोफेसर आलूवालिया से मेरी एक बार मुलाकात हुई थी, and he said कि stop complaining, start doing, और वो बात मुझे अभी तक याद है बहुत अच्छे से. and और हम कोशिश भी कर रहे हैं, जैसे उन्होंने बोला कि हम लर्न करते हैं, धीरे धीरे करते जाते हैं और हम सीखते जाते हैं. डॉक्टर ठाकुर ने भी बोला कि हमें बहुत हाई एंड मशीन चाहिए फॉर दैट ऑनलाइन टीचिंग. बट द प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जो हमने सारा कुछ तैयार कर लिया, एंड में जो रिसीवर है हमारा स्टूडेंट, क्या उसके पास वो चीज़ें हैं वो रिसीव कर सकता है? इंटरनेट की प्रॉब्लम पूरे कंट्री में, कहीं मिलता कहीं नहीं मिलता. स्मार्टफोन होने से कुछ नहीं होता है. स्मार्टफोन एक डब्बा हो जाता है अगर उसके पास इंटरनेट नहीं है. और हमारे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट ऐसे हैं जो वो गरीब तबके से आते हैं, जिनके पास वो शायद वो भी अफोर्ड ना कर सके. तो उस दशा में, उस दिशा में क्या कर सकते हैं?
इसमें बहुत कुछ तो सरकार को ही करना है सर. Still, Ahluwalia sir.
May I just say something?
जी सर.
देखिए, एक सिल्वर लाइनिंग जो है ना इस पेंडेमिक की, उसने हमको उन चीज़ों को आइडेंटिफाई करने की बड़ी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी दी कि कहाँ पे हमको ना चीज़ें प्लग करनी है. अदरवाइज हमने कभी इन चीज़ों की बात ही नहीं करनी थी. अब लोगों को पता लगने लगा कि विलेज के एक स्कूल में बैठा हुआ बच्चा, उसको भी उन चीज़ों की उतनी ज़रूरत है जितनी एक टाउन में बैठे हुए बच्चे के लिए है या एक सिटी में बैठे हुए बच्चे के लिए है. अब गवर्नमेंट इज सेइंग हम फाइबर ऑप्टिक लिंक पंचायत तक पहुंचाएंगे. सो व्हाट इज द मोटिवेशन बिहाइंड दैट? कि अगर एक गांव में आपको उस फाइबर लिंक के थ्रू वाईफाई मिल जाता है ब्रॉडबैंड वाला, तो आई थिंक थिंग्स में स्टार्ट हैपनिंग. मगर इसने हाईलाइट कर दी वो चीज़ें कि इन चीज़ों की बहुत सख्त ज़रूरत है. और जैसे आप स्कॉलरशिप देते हो ना, वैसे अब ज़रूरत है कि आप ना बच्चे को बोलो 1 साल में तेरे को इतने GB डाटा फ्री मिलेगा तेरे स्मार्टफोन पे. यू जस्ट गेट रजिस्टर्ड एंड यू विल स्टार्ट गेटिंग फ्री डाटा. नॉट इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी, but in terms of say 200 GB, 500 GB data हर student को मिले. I mean, these are the kinds of interventions which need to be brought into the picture.
Right.
तो उसका स्मार्टफोन फिर डब्बा नहीं रहेगा. उसको पता है उस डब्बे में मेरे पास फ्री में वो पाइपलाइन आ रही है जिसके थ्रू मैं कम्युनिकेट कर सकता हूँ लोगों के साथ. These are the needs, you know. This is what we need to talk about.
Nemi ji. Nemi sir,
ये सर आई अप्रिशिएट योर एफर्ट कि आपने पार्टिसिपेशन के थ्रू जो यंग लोग थे उनके आइडियाज को इंटरटेन किया. बट वी इन मोस्ट ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूशंस वी आर फेसिंग द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी टू पार्टिसिपेट फॉर द इन्हांसमेंट और डेवलपमेंट और क्वालिटी डेवलपमेंट इन द इंस्टीट्यूशन. थोड़े जो पुराने लोग हैं वो ऊपर बैठे हैं, वो नयों को अपॉर्चुनिटी ही नहीं देते कि वो अपने उनको आइडियाज को दिया जाए या उन आइडियाज को इनके अंदर डाला जाए जिससे कि एक इंस्टीट्यूशन की ग्रोथ हो सके, टीचिंग की ग्रोथ हो सके. तो ये एक बिहेवियरल प्रॉब्लम है. तो हाउ टू डील विद द पीपल हु आर सिटिंग ऑन द टॉप, उनको कैसे समझाया जाए कि वो नए आइडियाज को एंटरटेन करें और इंस्टीट्यूशनल और क्वालिटी को बढ़ाएं. ये बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है और मेरा इसके ऊपर एक सर्वे है. 90% इंस्टीट्यूशंस आर फेसिंग दिस प्रॉब्लम.
You want me to respond?
Yes, sir.
See, it's very simple. Let me tell you. आपकी तरह मैं भी कभी जूनियर था, फिर सीनियर भी हो गया. पर जब मैं सीनियरिटी पे आया तो मेरे को वो जूनियर की सारी दर्द मालूम थी कि यार वो जूनियर क्या महसूस करता है कि मुझे पूछता कोई नहीं है. पहला काम क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस सेल में जाकर के यही करा. सबसे अच्छे मेरे दोस्त कौन बने? नॉट द सीनियर्स बट द यंग पीपल. एंड आई थिंक दिस सीनियर पीपल मस्ट रियलाइज इट. वो रियलाइज नहीं करते हैं, वो ईगो के चक्कर में रहते हैं. आई थिंक वो ईगो फेंक देनी चाहिए हमको, उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है. देखिए पता नहीं आप फिजिक्स से हैं किसी और चीज से हैं. एक बार आइंस्टाइन को किसी ने पूछा ओके आइंस्टाइन को किसी ने पूछा कि आपको 100 लोग इकट्ठे हो गए हैं न्यूयॉर्क में, वो बोल रहे हैं आइंस्टाइन गलत है और वो तो सब आपके जूनियर हैं. उसने कहा यार 100 लोगों को इकट्ठे होने की जरूरत नहीं है, एक जूनियर ही काफी है मेरे को गलत प्रूव करने के लिए, मैं मान जाऊंगा. I mean that is the approach which is needed on the part of senior faculty. अगर वो नहीं है तो गड़बड़ होती है. और ये धीरे धीरे जो है ना चीजें, मैं आपको बताऊं बदलाव आएगा. अब आपके पास ना सीनियर टीचर आ रहे होंगे, यार बता पीपीटी कैसे बनानी है, मैं बता यार मैं कैसे माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टीम्स में काम करूं, या कैसे मैं जाकर के ये गूगल मीट में पार्टिसिपेट करूं. They are coming to young people now, you know, young people are helping them and they are very happy. young लोगों में एक बड़ी खासियत होती है, उनके साथ कोई जाए ना बोले मुझे मेरी मदद कर दो, वो ये कह रहे हैं, जान लगा देते हैं.
वो हेल्प नहीं कर रहे सर, वो कह रहे कि यार हम कर नहीं सकते, ये काम आप करो. तो वी आर ओवरबर्डन.
कोई बात नहीं सर.
सर मैं आपको अप्रिशिएट करता हूँ कि आपने एक इस अप्रोच के साथ जो यंग माइंड को साथ में लिया. फर्स्ट टाइम मैंने आपको सुना जिसने आपने कहा है कि मैंने यंग को साथ लिया. आज तक मैंने ऐसा कोई बंदा नहीं सुना जिसने कहा कि हमने यंग को साथ लिया हो. इस अप्रिशिएट योर एफर्ट सर.
सर आपको अप्रिसिएशन आ गई है, ये चैट बॉक्स में बहुत सारी अप्रिसिएशन आ रही है.
हाँ जी मनोज जी मैं कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ. मैं डॉक्टर पात्रा जी, आई वांट टू से समथिंग.
हाँ सुनाकर पात्रा जी सोशियोलॉजी के प्रोफेसर हैं हमारे एसोसिएट. प्लीज.
नमस्कार Ahluwalia sir, namaskar Jayanti ma'am and all of my friends participating here in this seminar. Actually sir बहुत बढ़िया लगा आपका जो अप्रोच जो है, जैसे आपको हमें आइडिया दिया बहुत अच्छा लगा. और हमारा फ्रेंड्स जो पार्टिसिपेट किए इसमें हमारा राकेश ठाकुर जी, वो बहुत बढ़िया सजेशन भी दिया जो कि हमें अमल कर सकते हैं. नेमी जी और जो जयंती मैम जी और हमारा जो राजेश भाई, सबका जो भी पॉइंट्स थी बहुत बढ़िया लगा. दैट वाज ऑल दिस वेरी मच कंस्ट्रक्टिव. But at the same time what we need to do is that we should be very much committed towards the issue, and our union, particularly Manoj ji, our union should take up this type of issues.
Certainly we will.
हाँ ओके, थैंक
शंकर जी, हमारी यूनियन तो इस तरह भी यूनिक है कि हम लोग इस तरह के वेबिनार कर रहे हैं, बल्कि you must appreciate and you are already.
I have totally
अभी मेरे पास ना सर, I have some proposals coming from and हमारी यूनियन सिर्फ यही नहीं देखती कि हमारे साथ जो colleagues हैं, we take librarians along. So I have an proposal from Madam Preeti Sharda, who is a librarian. So she has sent me that we can plan a webinar on using technology in classroom. तो लाइब्रेरियंस हमारे साथ हैं और उनसे हम बहुत कुछ सीख लेते हैं, बिब्लियोग्राफी, साइटिंग, साइटेशंस एंड व्हाटएवर. So it's good that we have an academic atmosphere and academic community coming together. So thanks to Professor Ahluwalia, you have incited our minds. सोचने पे मजबूर किया. फिलोसफिकल टॉपिक था और क्योंकि हम सिर्फ भागी जा रहे हैं अपनी रेस में, कहाँ जा रहे हैं वो नहीं पता. क्वालिटी को सिर्फ क्वांटिटी में ही उलझा के रख दिया. So I am also thankful to Madam Jayanti. Jayanti Madam, thank you.
So thank you very much. I hope you will.
No, sir, there has to be a formal thanks by our Professor Amarpreet Ji Sizar, President of the Association.
Okay.
Amarpreet Ji.
Yes, yes, Manoj ji, thank you so much. Well, on behalf of all the faculty members and our colleagues and friends along, very big thank you to Professor Ahluwalia sir and also Dr. Jayanti Datta. This is just the beginning, and I'm sure all our members, as Dr. Nimichan has just said, are quite young in this association. We are all people who have joined this Chandigarh administration from 2001 onwards. So quite a young team we have over here, more than 100 plus. But there are a lot of issues which we would like to discuss openly. This being the very first one, whenever there is an onslaught of NAC or any kind of inspection or committee, where we are the ones receiving end and working. And now it's time for many of us to enter in senior area. So such kind of discussion and also guidance is required. Whether we become senior or junior doesn't matter, but mentoring is always required. So today we have found two wonderful mentors, and Dr. Jayanti Datta. We assure you, we will be in constant touch with you, and we will always cherish a discussion on higher education with you. Big thank you to both of you. Thank you.
So to all the participants, please fill in the feedback form that has been sent. That will ensure automatic delivery of certificate in your email. This feedback form will be active for about half an hour more. Please do fill it. And with this, thanks to all for joining and being with us. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Dr. Manoj, and I am signing off now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.